My name is Dana Gain, and today we're taking a look at some essential tips for the first-time home seller. Going through the selling process for the first time can be intimidating. You want to be sure that you know what your home is worth. You want to know that you have capable help in the form of an experienced realtor. And importantly, you'd like the entire process to run smoothly. We developed the following 3 essential tips to assist the first-time home seller navigate the complicated process. Essential tip number 1, depersonalize. When a potential buyer views your home, your goal is to make it as easy as possible for them to imagine living there. For this reason, the first step will be to depersonalize the property. If the house is a loud reminder that it belongs to someone else, it will be more difficult for a potential buyer to imagine themselves there. Eliminate anything in the house that appears to be personal. Start by packing away the photographs and diplomas on the walls. You can replace the remaining empty spaces with some inexpensive, generic-looking artwork. Remember to remove anything that may be attached to the front of the refrigerator, like photos and magnets. In the bedrooms, put away all items sitting on top of the bedside tables and bureaus, reading glasses, water tumblers, and jewelry, and so on. Similarly, in the bathrooms, if an item currently lives on top of the counter, try to find a place where you can store it during showings but easily put it back later. We like small wicker baskets for this. You can keep most everything in them and then put them in the cupboard when it's time for a showing. If you have a home office that's in regular use, put away any paperwork and pens or books from the top of the desk. If during a showing your home office looks like someone was there 5 minutes ago and just stepped away for a moment, potential buyers may feel like they've invaded your space. Essential tip number 2, declutter. Most buyers will tell you they prefer open spaces when they're choosing a home. Properties that feel open and easy to move around in are ideal for this. As such, the goal here is to remove anything in the home that gets in the way of smoothly moving through the space. You can start by removing anything from the floor that does not permanently live there. Storage boxes or bins can be moved into a basement or garage. Next, review the placement of your furniture. Does the sectional in the living room block any areas of the house that are important, for example, like the kitchen? If so, try to find another home for the sectional or simply sell it in favor of a smaller one. We've seen many townhouses, for example, that have very large, chunky pieces of furniture in the main living area directly across from the kitchen. It's difficult to require a potential buyer to envision a home without the furniture that's right in front of them. So it is important the home seller set the stage as well as possible before buyers arrive. The most common challenge we hear from home sellers is, but wait a minute, this is my house. I live here. Selling a home is an emotional journey as much as a financial one, so it may take a little time for you to wrap your head around the idea that selling the house means you will no longer live there. Don't be afraid to take the time you need to work through this. It's an important point because the better the job a home seller does of emotionally detaching from the home before it goes on the market, the easier the actual selling process will become. One final point on decluttering. The longer you've lived in the home, the bigger this task will be. One home seller we worked with was so surprised at how much junk she had collected over the near 2 decades that she'd lived in the home. If you've lived in the house for more than a few years, consider how long it may take you to work through the decluttering process before deciding on a listing date. A good benchmark is to allow 1 week of organizing or decluttering for every 5 years you've lived in the home. If you've owned the property for 20 years, for example, plan on at least 4 weeks of decluttering before you put the house on the market. Essential tip number 3, plan your closing date. With the real estate market moving so quickly, even now during the slower fall months, it's important for sellers to consider the full moving spectrum. This means having a good idea of where you're going next and when. As the housing shortage continues to drive the market, home sellers are likely to divest quickly. Priced well, your home will sell in a matter of days. One important consideration will be, what date would you like to close on the property? Closing farther down the road means you can take more time to find the next house. Closing earlier means the money comes sooner. In the current market, consider allowing a longer time frame for your closing to provide you with sufficient time to get organized. If you prefer to close earlier, ensure you have a plan in place around where you will store your household belongings if you don't already have a property lined up. Time is money. If you know your closing date before going into a negotiation, you can leverage this information. One home seller we worked with hoped to close in 30 days, but the buyers were requesting a closing of 4 months away. They were a full 3 months apart in their ideal completion date. The home seller's position was that they had legitimate carrying costs for the property for those additional 3 months, and in the end, they agreed to the later closing date provided the buyers would increase the selling price to offset those carrying costs. There are a lot of moving parts involved in selling a home, but if you can manage the 3 essentials outlined here, you will be well on your way to achieving the price you want for your home. My name is Dana Gain, and I'm here for all your real estate needs. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe, and please share it with your friends. If you have any questions about buying or selling a home, send your email to info@danagain.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time.